So I've been playing Duel and Back easily on and off over the last 10 years, and I'm here to tell you that if you want to get the benefits from it, you really don't need to be spending hours upon hours upon hours of playing the game. But some of those benefits can include working on like a hyper focus, so really being able to focus your attention on people. It helps with your creativity and your improv in conversations. It helps with short-term and long-term memory. And of course, the really big ones are that it can help to alleviate those symptoms of anxiety. And if you're someone who has that inner voice who kind of talks you out of doing stuff, it can help to quieten that, so you can take more action and, you can move towards actively doing the things that you want to do. But do you need to be spending a long time playing this game? Absolutely not. But what is key here is the consistency. You've got to be playing the game regularly if you want to be able to play the game for the most minimal amount of time. So I, over the years, have had days where I've just done a couple of rounds, which has taken like a couple of minutes to do. And then I've had days where I have spent hours upon hours playing this game, which has, racked up maybe like 40, 50 plus rounds. And, I've really gotten that hyper focus as I've played it, and my brain just feels absolutely warped afterwards. But as a minimum, you only really need to be playing between about 10 to 20 rounds per day, which really isn't much. And it's also not that long either to do. It probably takes maybe about 15 minutes at minimum if you're going to be doing 10 rounds. And I'm going to say more realistically, around the 45 minute mark for 20 rounds, because I know for me personally, I don't do the rounds back to back to back. I kind of have a slight breather in between. Even if it's like a minute, it's amazing how quickly that can add up. So 15 minutes to 45 minutes isn't that bad to reap all the benefits from it. And especially when you'll see over time this gradual improvement, whether it be over days, weeks, and definitely months. But to spend 15 minutes at minimum, I think it's safe to say that anyone can squeeze that into their day. Now, I'll also be quite sensible here and say that, we've all had it where we've had days where we can't be bothered, or we're tired, we've had a long day from work, and we just forget about playing Duel and Back. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Having the odd break here and there is going to be absolutely fine. But just remember, if you want to be doing the minimum with playing the game, you've got to be consistent. Now, if you lose that consistency, then the best thing that I would say is to try and target 20 rounds, maybe even as the number to hit, or even as a minimum to achieve, just to really give you that fast track to get to a level, or just to get to a point where you're like, okay, right, now I can be consistent again. And that might maybe be a good hour or so to play. And even then, I think that is more than enough. You don't need to overdo it. You don't need to be playing the game for any more, at maximum of 2 hours. I think at that point, you find that you've exhausted your brain capacity and you need to have a rest anyway. Otherwise, you're going to just be finding yourself procrastinating between rounds, or you're going to be just too exhausted. Or I know I used to be really tired if I did too many rounds. So just focus, if you can, on spending 15 minutes a day playing Duel and Back. It's really good if you can do it in the morning. If you're going to maybe do 20 rounds, why not do 10 in the morning and 10 in the evening? Or if you've got the time, do 20 in one go. But I think those sort of number of rounds is just going to be the perfect amount for people. 10 rounds or 20 rounds in one sitting, or 2 sittings in a day. Spread them out as you want. I also found, actually, that I will say is that sometimes playing Duel and Back before I'm going to go off on a date can really help me to have more of an attention on the girls I'm speaking to. And if I am feeling a little bit nervous before a date, it really helps to alleviate that too. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and how maybe you might try, or maybe you have tried doing 10, 20 rounds in a day and how that's made you feel, especially if you've been consistent with it. But I do feel though that you don't need to be doing any more than that. I think any more than that is probably, I can't think what the word would be, but I think you'd be getting to a point that anything after would just be a waste. You're not really going to be getting any more benefits from it. You're going to just hit a point. You've got the hyper focus. You've worked your brain. It's had its workout, and that's it. You don't need to stretch it anymore. So give this a try. Just remember, consistency is important with this game, especially if you want to be doing the bare minimum with it.